There's no shortage of conversation happening around Kratom right now. Every week brings new headlines, new legislation, viral videos, and more public discussion about both natural Kratom as well as concentrated products like 7-OH. Now, here at the Kratom Gals, we believe it is more important than ever for consumers to stay informed, ask questions, and come together to make sense of what's really happening beyond the headlines. Hey, everybody, I'm Madeline Sklar, and welcome to the Kratom Gals. This is our weekly roundtable discussion where every day Kratom consumers come together so we can talk openly about advocacy, legislation, the vast media coverage, our personal experiences about Kratom, and the issues affecting this community. Today, we're going to be reacting to the latest Kratom news stories making headlines around the country and some of the latest videos that are just making the rounds over on YouTube, plus a whole lot more. Now, this show, the podcast, and all the tireless advocacy work we do is a labor of love, but it's also a fight. It's a fight against misinformation and a fight to ensure safe and legal access for everyone who needs it. We're entirely supported by our community, by you all. If you get value from this show and believe in the mission, I want to invite you to become a partner in this work. You can do that over at kratomstoriespodcast.com/support. Now, a little bit about me for those that don't know. I host the Kratom Stories podcast, the Kratom Gals, this show, and our Kratom Real Talk community over at school. If you're watching this live over on our YouTube channel, jump into the chat. We've got the live chat. It's a great way for us to all be connected. And if you're watching the replay right now, post a comment. That way we can hear from you because, look, your voice matters in this conversation too. And if this kind of unfiltered talk is resonating with you, please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button. It's a great way to help more people find us. And before we bring up the gals and get started with today's show, a very quick but important note: this live stream is for educational purposes only. None of us here are medical professionals. Nothing shared here should be taken as medical advice. We're all here sharing our own personal experiences and advocating for responsible legal access to Kratom. And as always, do your own research. And let's bring up our gals that are here today with us. Hello, ladies.
Hi, everybody. So happy it's Saturday.
Hi, all.
I know, Saturday. We have a lot of advocacy days. Thursday Advocacy Day, where we do a lot on Thursdays. And we got our Saturday Advocacy Day, which is this. So much going on in the community, but we all love it. We all love, help spreading awareness about Kratom. It's so important. Mm-hmm. And we need more of it.
Definitely. The more we can get our voice out there, the more people we can help.
Exactly. And I always hope by all the advocacy work I do, by us coming here each week and hosting the Kratom Gals, that is inspiring others that are watching this to speak out as well and talk to people about Kratom. Call your legislators, do everything you can to help keep Kratom legal. Yeah, exactly. Do something. It's so important. And for those that are doing something, awesome. We love it. Thank you. We know there's a lot of people out there that have been advocating for years, and some people that are just now starting because they're learning how to get involved. We always need more people doing it, but always big time appreciation to those that do it. I think that's pretty obvious here each week with our discussions, how much we appreciate those that are also out there educating and advocating for the plant.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, for your patience. Sorry, we're a little late today. I had a little doggy emergency to take care of, and we're all good. And thank you ladies, for, hanging out in the YouTube chat with everybody while I was taking care of that real quick.
Not a problem. I enjoy being in the chat.
I tell you, when it comes to live streaming, the magic is in the chat. Now, I've been live streaming since 2010, and now 2010, the video part was not that great yet. Like, it was very pixelated, the quality, our cameras back then, our computers are nothing like it is today. You couldn't do it from your phone yet. But the secret sauce I always enjoyed was that there was always the live chat box. And this was even before live streaming on YouTube. I was live streaming on a platform called Ustream, the letter U and stream. And it was very much like this. Now, it wasn't group like this, but it's like I could have a live video and I had a chat box. And what I used to do back then is live stream music events from my music community I ran since the 90s. And I loved that chat box because we could just have these interactive discussions with people in this community, and it was just incredible. And that's what I love about with our chat is just seeing all the comments come through and people being part of that interaction with us, asking questions, getting real-time answers. It's incredible. So thank you to everybody I know some people are watching and they're busy. Like, look, I listen to plenty of podcasts and live streams where it's just in my ears, and I'll be like shopping or doing something or walking my dog and I'm just listening. So I can't necessarily be in the live chat. And I know plenty of people just listen while they're doing things. So, but when you're in the chat, at least say hi, let us know you're here, because we don't necessarily know you're here unless, you say so. So we appreciate that so much. So ladies, what's going on? Anything new to report? I know with all these legislative hearings, things are starting to slow down a bit, which is good. We all need a break from that.
Well, we've got Georgia next week and California next week hearings.
Yeah, those are the two big ones. But overall, there doesn't seem to be as many on the schedule like there were. Like, it just seemed like there were so many.
For a lot of the states, they're starting to slow down a little bit because their legislative sessions are coming to an end.
Yeah.
But then you have states like Michigan, Georgia, California, who go a lot.
It's so interesting how it's different state by state. But I know that's why we need a federal KCPA, Kratom Consumer Protection Act. And it would be amazing to see the difference that can make if we had that on a federal level. Although I don't know if that's going to change much with states, because states pretty much like to do their own thing. But when you have the FDA involved in studies, and now go ahead.
I think one of the biggest things is to see the FDA change their website to show that they're not coming after plain weed kratom.
Right.
Yeah. Something for them to reference, something for them to look at, actually see it and know it, know it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's truly the single biggest obstacle we have right now is all these states saying, well, the FDA.
Right.
We need them to get involved.
And seriously, as somebody who comes, who used to do web design, it's not hard to change a website. If they gave me access to the FDA's website, I could literally do it in like a minute. And so anytime people say, oh, it's so hard to do, we're so time consuming. And these days, the way websites are, oh my God, give me a break. It takes you 2 seconds. So it would be great to see them updated based on where they're currently at with the science. And they've known for years with the science that natural kratom is safe. It's not killing people. It's not causing the issues that, that's been thrown out there with the misinformation and propaganda. It would be nice if they would show that on their website. So it's been, and now that it's been peer reviewed, that study from years back has been peer reviewed. That's kind of like the last thing. Like, once something is peer reviewed, it's like, okay, this is 100% exact.
To me, it's like, come on, guys. You are paid to protect the American public. Step up and start protecting us.
Yeah.
Allow us access to a leaf that we know is safe. Do your jobs.
Exactly.
And they know too.
They sure do. I mean, we know that there have been people at the FDA that are not fans of kratom. This has been going on for years. But something needs to be done. The science shows that the plant is safe. It's not killing people. They've done studies. They've done lots of things. Now they want to, go study it for a drug and doing human trials for a drug for opioid use disorder. How much more involved does the FDA and the government and NIDA need to be before finally people wake up to the fact that the government is moving this along? They're obviously in favor of mitragynine. They haven't banned it, but it's like, can you just update the website?
Yeah.
Press
Just
a button.
Give us that.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing how much more support they would receive in turn if they gave us that little bit.
Yeah. Bombastic is saying, I've only been taking it once a day in between other meds. Kratom works great for my pain, but I can't seem to make the full switch over. I tell you what, when I made the full switch over, it was liberating. Absolutely liberating. I haven't taken any pain meds in over 7 years. It's an amazing feeling to just use a plant.
Yeah. Well, and for those people that can't make that switch over, it's okay. Start small, by doing it the way you are right now. And some people never can make that switch over, and that's okay too.
And that's okay.
You have to do what works best for you to take care of you. Just continue learning and growing with it.
Yeah. Hey, Christopher, good to see you. Excellent advice, Robin. Excellent advice. Yeah, it's definitely a nice feeling to not have to rely on the meds. Now, I was dropped from pain management because of all that hype and fear the government has put into pain management doctors' heads and scaring them from prescribing like they used to. Now, I know people got addicted, but not everybody. A lot of us did not. A lot of us in pain management did not get addicted. We're never addicted, and we're not addicted to kratom.
Well,
it's frustrating.
You know what? Even if they did, so what? You live with chronic pain, severe chronic pain.
Right.
If those pain meds that you take every day or the kratom you take every day allows you to function and be a contributing member of society, so what if you have to take something to help you?
And that's what it allowed. It allowed me to be a functioning member of society. The amount of opiates I had to take daily because of the way my body would process them, they'd go through me so fast. So I had to be prescribed high doses. I was never addicted to them, ever. I never had an emotional attachment. My only thing was I had an emotional attachment to not be suffering in pain. And if a pill would help, it wasn't to me about, oh, I got to have this pill, or, oh, I got to have this. It was, I don't want to suffer in pain. I should not have to suffer in pain. Because I was in pain management and able to get access to the meds, I could still work. I've been self-employed for 30 years. I still want to continue. I don't want to. I could have taken disability a long time ago, over a decade ago. I decided not to. I mean, I have debilitating chronic pain, but I was able to manage it in pain management, even though with kratom it's been way better. It's like, oh my God, why did I not hear about this sooner? That's why I talk about this so much. I don't shut up about kratom, and I never will, because people need to know, especially people in the chronic pain community. I spent 9 years in pain management, never heard of kratom.
Yep.
Didn't know anything about it until I was dropped from pain management.
And then because of people like, I don't even like saying his name, Kolodny, we have all faced so much trauma. And now we're at the point where you're being penalized and made to suffer more if you are in pain. It's a messed up world.
Well, and taking away natural kratom from people who suffer with debilitating pain, who have chosen that over opiates, or like me, can't get the opiates anymore for their pain relief. It's like, now what? What does the government expect these people to do? Those legislators at those state levels, they don't even care.
And opiates never even worked for me. There wasn't, occasionally they would work, but then when I would find something that would work, the doctor didn't want to prescribe that amount that would actually work for me. and it would only work for about a month. And I would ask my doctor, can't you find something to go month to month and go back and forth with? But they couldn't do that either. But I never got relief, and I always had to take an insane amount. I didn't know about that test that you got.
Yeah, the
That showed,
pharmacokinetic test or cogenetic test. Yeah,
Well,
my pain management doctor but my doctor was very smart about doing things to help him if he ever when he'd get audited, because if you're prescribed, if you're a pain management doctor, your biggest thing is worrying about the audits that the government and I'm sure other agencies do, so that you don't get sent to prison. Because we heard so many stories about doctors prescribing and doing things they should not have been doing, especially the pill mills in Florida. But he had me do a pharmacogenetic test where they swab my cheek, and what the test gives you is, I guess, based on your DNA, so everybody's different, like how you process all different types of medications and how it works with your liver enzymes and things. And it's fascinating. Now, at the time, I'm just like, they said, hey, we need to do this. I did wonder why at the time. I do remember them saying, oh, don't worry, like you don't have to worry about insurance or paying, like we're covering it. And it's like, looking back, it's like they did a lot of things to protect themselves, as these doctors should, because of all the scrutiny. But the test, it was so interesting because it proves that all these different opiates go through me very quickly. It also shows the one that doesn't work on me, which I already know from experience, is morphine. Morphine does not work on me. And I have the medical proof to show that. And one time my insurance still made me take morphine because they were trying to save money on the meds. And that it was a nightmare because it doesn't work on me, and it caused me to go to the ER for impacted bowel. It was a whole crazy mess. And it's just this reminder of how with all the different things in place at the government level, there's so much control over us. We just don't want to suffer. That's the bottom line.
Well, and going back to what you said about legislators not listening, Tennessee is the most perfect example of that we have seen so far. To have as much knowledge, as much science, as much education as went into that state and those legislators, and them to just stand up there and say, we don't care. We're doing this anyway. If that doesn't open people's eyes to the fact that they need to get involved, get new legislators in there, vote them out, change things up, because we deserve to take care of ourselves.
Exactly. And if we find it from a plant, even better. I don't miss going to the pharmacy and being treated so poorly and that's just like a whole separate ordeal a lot of us had to endure. In addition,
it's a full-time job.
I used to tell people that all the time. I said, being in pain management is a part-time job for me. It really is. The amount of time spent on the appointments and the pharmacies. There were times I'd be at the doctor for like 2 or 3 hours because these practices were booming. They're very popular, these doctors. And because a lot of people suffer in pain. And then you go take the script over to the pharmacy, and sometimes I'd be at the pharmacy for an hour or two. And it's like the day's gone, just so I don't suffer.
And you could be there for an hour or two and still walk away empty-handed.
Yes. Absolutely. There were times where, a handful of times, it would be a Friday afternoon, going to see the doctor, getting my script, and it was always the handwritten, you had to take it. It was always that physical script to get your pain meds. And taking it, going to the pharmacy. By this point, it's like 4 p.m, right? Oh, we don't have it. It's like, well, where can I get this? How long? I'm asking all the questions. Oh, try this other pharmacy. Go to another pharmacy. Oh, we don't have it. By the time I went to 5 different pharmacies and they all said the same thing, it's now 6 p.m. on a Friday. The doctor's office is closed. They don't care anyway, because once they write the script, they're done. And it's like, what do they expect us to do?
And then if
if
it's a weekend and you can't get anything, and then you don't feel good, you go get sick because you're just cut off, and you go to the emergency room or a doctor or something, then you're labeled an addict because your pain meds weren't able to be filled. No fault of your own. And just because you're sick, it doesn't give them the right to give you that addict label. You're sick because you've been taking something every day for so many times and they just cut you off of it, you know. But as soon as you go in there and you say, look, I can't get my prescription filled, they don't look at it as, okay, it's time for her to get a prescription filled. They look at it as she has a problem because she can't go these few days without a prescription that she's been taking all this time. And I think that's so wrong.
Well, and it used to be, and I'm old, maybe because I'm old and I remember those days, it truly used to be the physicians believed first do no harm. Now, the only thing they're worried about is their bottom line.
Yeah.
Protecting themselves and their bottom line.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not a good time to be somebody who suffers in chronic pain when it comes to the medical establishment. Thank God for Kratom. I still can't believe over 7 years taking my natural Kratom 4 times a day, every day. I've never not taken it ever. I've taken it every single day for my pain. And I tell you, every time I drink my swamp water tea, I'm like, I'm still so grateful all these years later, because it's like I can sit here and I'm not suffering. I have like right now, seriously, I mean, I know everybody's different. For me personally, I can sit here and my pain level on my lower back right now is a 0. It's not bothering me. It'll bother me later. And if it's going to from sitting. But right now, I took my Kratom 4 hours ago. And I feel great.
And with me, I hate that pain scale because what for most people, a 10 would put them down and out. A 10 for most of us is like mid-level day.
Yeah.
So if I sit at a 10, I can deal with that. It's the 15s and 20s that start wearing on me. If I can keep my pain level at a 7, an 8, a 9 with Kratom, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled. Do I still have pain? Yeah. I don't think a day will ever come that I don't have pain. But it's at a level I can tolerate and a level I can still function with. And without Kratom, I probably would have driven off a cliff by now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, to be realistic.
Yeah, I just can't even
Gone
imagine.
out in the woods somewhere and walked away.
Yeah. And it's interesting how this plant affects everyone differently. Excess is like I usually do every 4 hours. It's interesting because we're all different with this plant. It affects everybody differently. I'm just amazed that I'm able to stretch it out 6 hours. When I first started, it was about every 3 to 4. When I was still in pain management towards the end there, I mean, I was having to take my Percocets like every 2 to 3 hours because they just weren't. And that's with me taking Oxycontin extended release twice a day. So I'm having, as that they have that as a 12-hour. Well, no, I'm lucky if I get maybe 4 hours off of an Oxycontin. And I would take Oxycontin in the morning, and then the Percs was, as needed. Well, I was needing them like every couple of hours. I mean, I was just suffering. I was in such bad shape at the end there. So losing access to pain management is scary, and I don't wish that on anybody. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to do. But luckily, I found Kratom through that process, and it's like, oh my God, this is so much better, and for me at least. And also the thing is, I'm glad I stuck it out because people were saying it might take trial and error. And many times we're like, oh, with pain management, you pop a pill, you start feeling a little better, it gets that edge off the pain. Kratom may not do that. It doesn't always, for some people, it works the first time as soon as you try. For me, it took trial and error for a couple of weeks before I found that magic. And I'm so glad I didn't give up. But I think I didn't give up because I didn't have, my other option was to go find a drug dealer, which is like, who should have to do that? Because I could not find one doctor that would take over. Not one in my huge city. Nobody would take over the care I had already been having for 9 years.
Journal and experimentation is the single biggest thing I can say to anyone that is trying Kratom. Keep a journal, try different things, be willing to open your mind to the fact that it is not one size fits all. And quite often, less is more. And that's such a weird concept for most all of us. Most of us, more is more. No, not always.
Yeah, many times more will just make you throw up. It was interesting with me because I know some people say when they're having a bad pain day, they'll just take a little bit more and that helps them. And it's so interesting with me. I can't take more or less. I have my magic amount, which is 2 teaspoons. If I take less, I'm not going to get enough pain relief. Like I literally have to be at 2 teaspoons. I can take a little bit more, but if I take too much more, if I take more, like I can kind of do 2.5, but if I take more than that, I'm going to be nauseous and I'm going to feel crappy. And it just doesn't, it's like, this is awful. Like I don't get, so it's so different from pharmaceuticals where it's like, sometimes having extra does help and sometimes having extra makes you feel good. Not with, at least for me, not with Kratom.
Me either.
Well, and I'm one of those weird ones. If I'm having an extremely high pain day, instead of taking a little more, I'll take a little bit less. And I mean, almost negligible amounts of less, but just a little bit less. And it's like, okay, this time it worked. So again, even though I'm over 12 years into this, I still have to trial and error some of my days and some of my doses.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I'm okay with that because I know eventually I'll find what works for me that day. And I don't have to look at a pill and I don't have to go see a doctor.
It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
I wouldn't want it any other way.
And with all the handful of states that have been either banning it or in the process of banning it, I know a lot of people just can't move away. And I tell you, if they banned it in my state, I would definitely move. There's just no way I would want to be in a state where they would want to criminalize me over a plant. It just makes no sense. Just doesn't make sense, especially when the science shows what it shows, you know? The science is there. So 2 teaspoons is roughly 4.5, 5-ish grams. Kind of depends on how you do your teaspoon.
I round it up just so I know I'm safe on the 5. I mean, it's 5. To me, it's 5. But yeah, a little bit. It could be a little bit under.
Well, and a
whether
lot of
or
that,
not it's level and the weight of the tea and I mean all that. So
a lot of that is, depending on the grind and depending on what vein it is. So many things go into the measurements.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's worthwhile to go ahead and buy a scale if you want to be real.
And that can be helpful.
Particular with it, and that's okay.
That can be helpful. I actually got one when I first started because a lot of people said, oh, it's really good to get like a small digital scale. You can get it on Amazon pretty cheap. It was a little messy, putting it on there and then trying to transfer it back out. But, interesting. But I just found my magic spot was 2 teaspoons, when I was just using my little kitchen baking teaspoon. And I actually still use the same one from 7 years ago. It was pretty cool. And I just found what works for me. But plenty of people use a digital scale. And you're not going to go wrong with that with digital scale because you're always going to be more accurate.
Yeah, I use a digital scale, and I weigh mine out into RX bottles. I have like my perfect spoon. It's like a Sunday spoon, so it's long and it's really skinny. And I just weigh it out, and you're right, it is messy. My scale is a mess. But I weigh it out, and I weigh enough for a day or 2 days. I have a bunch of them, and I have like the big ones are green, the middle ones are white, and the other ones are red. Got a whole system there. But it's easier just to dump them in a bottle for me, and then I just fill it up with hot water, and then I drink about half of it. And usually I can get up. I'm usually up by then, and then I won't remember to drink the rest of it until my pain starts coming back. Then I go back and drink the rest of it, and that lasts me about 4 or 6 hours. But it's nice to be able to have that control over whatever is working for me I'm able to do that because no doctor would prescribe what actually worked for me. So I can control it myself and
Yeah.
experiment, without worrying about anything happening to me.
At
Yeah.
least when we experiment with Kratom, we don't have to worry about, are we going to end up in the back of an ambulance or with
Yeah.
a dose
No.
of Narcan up our nose? With Kratom, we know it might not work, or it might work too well as far as, make you throw up or whatever, but we're going to live through it. So experimentation is still safe.
Yeah. It's not going to make you stop breathing. Well, let's get into some
Mhm.
videos. There were a lot of news stories I came across this week. There's never a shortage of them. So much misinformation. I still can't get over last week on this show where there was that brand new news story from NBC and just one-sided. We had such a great discussion here about it. For anybody that missed it, be sure to check out our YouTube channel because that was a great discussion. And comparing it to a Kratom story they did the year before, which was last year, that I was in, where it was balanced. They showed both sides of Kratom, and it was like, same reporter too. And it's like, oh, night and day, their narrative this year with a news story on
It
national
it
news.
makes me wonder, do they think that we're really that stupid that we can't remember a year ago?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do they not even know how to look in their archives?
Well, it's the same reporter. And the other at the end, when he was on with the anchor even made some comment about how you've been on this story for a year. Because they came to my home early, it was January of last year, and spent hours with me. It was a real shame that it was such a short news story and I was in such a even smaller part of it. But the thing is, it's all good. I'm glad they spent hours with me. I educated him and the producer in my home. It was an amazing experience. But the fact that they put on national news me making my swamp water tea is priceless. Absolutely priceless. When has any news organization, especially a network news organization, has shown natural kratom, somebody making it and consuming it? So I'm glad that I got to be the one where that was showcased. I was very pleased with that. Didn't think they were going to show that. I thought,
Me too. That was perfect.
I kept wondering, I wonder what parts they're going to show. Because, like I said, they were here for hours. And it was an awesome discussion. But here we are a year later, and it's a completely different narrative they did on the story. So
And
it's
the
frustrating.
thing that gets me is he would have had some extra footage that he could have easily added to that to make it
Well, I don't know how much control the journalist, the reporter has.
true.
When they were filming all of this, the producer's like, well, it's going to be the editor that puts it all together. Like they didn't know how it would really turn out. Like the editor puts everything together. But the bottom line is there's so many news stories circulating around the country, some at the national level, like that was with NBC News, and then lots of them at the local level. And I'm always keeping an eye out for them because I want us to be able to watch them here and talk about it so that we can kind of go through like, okay, there's some accurate information. Oh, wait a minute, here's a lot of misinformation. That they're getting it wrong. And most times they get it wrong. They just get it wrong, especially the ones where they're talking about 7-OH, the concentrated products, but they're showing natural kratom the whole time. That just
Yeah.
gets me. That really gets me
Yep.
every
And I
time.
feel so bad for those vendors that they keep
Yes.
plastering their name, their product
Yes.
on these media stories when it's not them. It doesn't involve them. It doesn't have anything to do with them. At
Well,
least get your facts straight, folks.
one that I keep noticing, and same thing last week when we were watching these, is 1836 kratom, and it's like theirs gets shown so many times in that way where they're talking about 7-OH, but they show that product, which is only natural kratom. I know Jeremy Stedding, the owner, he's been on my Kratom Stories podcast, and as a matter of fact, he's one of those manufacturers that goes a step further than most do with the education. So he doesn't have a storefront. He sells to storefronts, right? He's a manufacturer and distributor. The companies that want to sell his products, they have to take training. He provides a whole series of video training that he makes them do. And it should be like that across the board. All these companies should be making that happen so that people are being educated that sell it. Things would be so much better if that was the case. More education.
There can never be enough education or enough people speaking out.
Yeah. Agreed. Well, let's get some news stories. This first one I'm going to play. I got two of them. I'm going to play out of Tennessee, and sadly, Tennessee has a ban going into effect July 1st. It's just, now it's just counting down the days, and it's just awful for all the people in that state that are going to be subjected to this. Just like a year ago when it was Louisiana, same thing. These states that want to not just ban it, but they want to criminalize it too.
That's the worst part is.
Yeah, Twinkle, we can hear you typing.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. So of course right now,
to people.
Yeah, Tennessee is showing up quite a bit lately because that's about to happen. So let's start with this first one.
Kratom set to be banned in Tennessee starting on July 1st. Advocates say they expect this change will lead to a spike in overdoses across the state.
It is extremely, extremely addictive. It's a lot worse than people think. Everybody thinks it's safe. It's not.
Groups are now racing to connect people to recovery resources before they turn to meth or heroin.
Do they think everybody's addicted to a plant?
Wow.
Before they turn to meth or heroin. Okay, first up, those are complete and total opposite ends of the spectrum. Second up, no, I'd be more worried about them finding fentanyl.
Yeah. Yeah, why? It's interesting how their choice of words here.
And all the extra stuff in fentanyl.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's I mean, this one needed to come with the soft things to throw warning.
Yeah. Throw something soft at your computer or your phone when you're watching this, because, man, let's start this one over so we can just be irritated again.
And it's like right out of the gate.
Yeah, right out of the gate. Right out of the gate. Let's back it up.
Kratom set to be banned in Tennessee starting on July 1st. Advocates say they expect this change will lead to a spike in overdoses across the state.
It is extremely, extremely addictive. It's a lot worse than people think. Everybody thinks it's safe. It's not.
Groups are now racing to connect people to recovery resources before they turn to meth or heroin. Good evening and welcome to News 2 at 5. I'm Bob Mueller.
And I'm Haley Wilgus. State Capitol reporter Tori Gessner explains how people can get help for kratom addiction.
It's advertised as plant-derived, used for energy, pain relief, and mood enhancement. But for some users, what starts as a pick-me-up can be much harder to put down.
It's plant-derived, but I'm telling you, girl, it's a monster.
It's kratom. It technically isn't an opioid, but it acts just like one. Nikki Green and Brittany Hardy with Tennessee's Lifeline Peer Project say the withdrawal symptoms are brutal.
It's when they take it away, they realize how addictive and how dangerous it is. And people literally overdose and die from stuff mixed with kratom.
Come July 1st, the substance will be banned in Tennessee, thanks to new legislation passed earlier this year. But Green and Hardy worry some who are dependent on kratom will turn to other drugs once it's gone.
So that means they're going to get a hold of meth. They're going to get a hold of fentanyl. All of this has opioids in it, which means they're going to overdose. So we're expecting a huge spike in overdoses, and we're on the front lines trying to be preventative and take action and get ahead of this.
That's why they're hosting a naloxone training in Benton County June 29th and spreading the word about the help available for those who need it. They've already referred more than 20 people to treatment for kratom in just the last week and a half, saying time is of the essence.
It's bad. It's really bad stuff. I've had personal people in my life almost die, literally almost die, if I wouldn't have got them into detox that day.
Both in recovery themselves, Green and Hardy say they know how difficult the journey can be, and they don't want people to do it alone.
We've been where these folks are, and we don't want them to go through that. They don't have to go through that. We're here to help.
If you are struggling with kratom dependency or other substance use issues, reach out to the Tennessee.
Okay.
I can't.
Wow.
And that's it. No
If
positive.
it's an
okay, first off, if
advertisement.
it was such an issue, why weren't you addressing those issues before you banned it?
Exactly.
Then it shows a
those
photo
people just make
of
me nuts.
two capsules, and that would have only been 1 gram because those were little capsules. So they
Yeah.
only had maybe a half in each one, you know, but making it look like, oh my God, somebody took 2, and that doesn't even hardly help anybody. But, and then that pile of leaves, I've never seen kratom like that, not unless that's packaging and all that. It looked like a pile of twigs and leaves and
Yeah.
flowers, and you know, so I mean, I don't know.
It was
so
it was
weird.
basically an advertisement for that recovery group. That's all
Yeah.
it was.
That's all it
And
was.
Narcan.
And such
Yeah.
wrong, bad, horrendous information. Okay, first off, you're comparing it with meth and with opioids.
Yeah.
You're showing Narcan. Narcan is not going to touch it. But also, if you want to be smart, Narcans are not going to touch methamphetamines either.
Yeah.
So at least, if you're going to put information out there, at least make sure it's accurate. And that was the opposite of it.
Absolutely opposite. That was just terrible. I knew I had to start with that one for y'all to see. So let me play another one out of Tennessee as well, because like I said, Tennessee's in the limelight right now because of that ban taking effect real soon.
I'm Ruben Diaz. Here's your ABC 24 News update. A Memphis.
Wait, this one's like halfway in. Sorry, I just remember this one's like they did 2 stories. Okay.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about a hidden danger that may be sitting on convenience store shelves all across the state. And for one woman, what she thought was a simple energy boost turned into a costly addiction and a painful recovery. Now she's sharing her story with others and warning about this powerful substance. Our sister station in Knoxville has that story.
There's so much I didn't see.
Kelly Kaiser was looking for relief and energy during her graveyard shifts managing a local resort. She started picking up these 7 pure tablets at a gas station after someone told her to try them.
I honestly thought that what I was taking was about the same as an energy drink, but it being advertised as a supplement, I felt in a way that must be healthier.
She says the information on the package was too small to read.
I have to stop there. So she didn't educate herself on what she's putting in her body, and the packaging, it was too small. She couldn't read they seriously just said that.
Right. And she
So
just went
why
by
did you
feeling.
take
She
that?
felt that.
It was too small to read. That's her excuse.
And yet you continued to go ahead and put it in your body.
It goes back to what we say so much, personal accountability. Take responsibility for your actions. Oh, she has more to say, but when she says that, she's blaming the small print on the packaging. It's like, you got to be kidding. Taking zero responsibility. All right, let's keep going. Wait, go ahead. What's that?
It's like saying that, okay, we know antifreeze is bad, but the labeling was so small I couldn't really see it to know.
Right. Exactly. Oh, she has more to say.
Has 8 servings and not to exceed more than 2 in a day. Now, most people think supplement and they see 1 pill. You take all of it. Why not? I mean, so what is that going to do?
But those fruity flavored pills.
So she didn't read the fine print, I say the directions, not the fine print. She didn't read the directions, and she's complaining that, oh, it's a supplement. I just popped the whole thing, not knowing you're supposed to cut them into 4s.
Yeah, again, self-accountability and responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, they showed the back of the packaging here when they're talking about. Let me back up to that part.
You know what is great for that fine print? Using your camera phone.
Yes, but it's like, look at all this information on the back. So this is too small for her to read. Yeah, you use your phone that does a little magnifying.
And then spread it. Yeah.
Look what it says. Consume responsibly. Only take 1 serving, 1/8 of a tablet by mouth at a time. Do not exceed 2 servings, which would be a 1/4 tablet. I mean, look, part of the issue should also fall on these manufacturers. Why are they allowed to make such a big tablet that's need to be cut into eighths? Most people are not going to do that. They know people aren't going to do that. So why are they allowed to put out a product? Why don't you put out these little nibbles that are an actual real serving size? I'm sure they have their
Because that would
reasons why they don't.
cost more.
It would cost more,
But
and
then
people.
again, the extracts and the feel free is the same thing. That's more than one.
Right.
That's you got to manage that to all the separate doses in those too. So it's almost the same as the tablet. You got to cut in 4 ways. I mean, I wish that they would just make a small. It would have just been a small serving size, nibble, low dose, and then that's all. That was it, just right there. Now, some people would have abused that and taken. I don't even know, but at least it would have been beneficial on the manufacturer's point and safer to have them in small amounts. But there's too many products that you have to manage yourself, and people are taking the whole thing. It doesn't matter if it's the tablet or the drink or the liquid extract or those other ones.
Well, this woman's taking no responsibility, and she's, preaching on TV to people.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep.
When she couldn't be responsible.
Right.
Like
So
she's a
blame
great
the
informer or
product,
something.
blame
Yep.
everyone and everything else, but never accept that responsibility. Yeah. Great idea.
Yeah. But still love it was too small to read. It's like, okay, lady. All right, let's keep going.
Now, most people think supplement and they see one pill, you take all of it. Why not? I mean, so what is that going to do?
But those fruity flavored pills contain potent 7-OH. It's a synthetic chemical that feeds on opioid receptors. Experts say it's much more potent than natural kratom.
I did start to realize over some months, that I needed to keep increasing to feel that feeling. In 6 months,
Her feeling.
shamefully
Yeah.
spending roughly $300, maybe a little bit more a month.
When she tried to stop, she described a weeks-long detox with seizures and a hospital stay. Her message is to reach out for help and check in on your loved ones before July 1st.
There's help. Inform yourself. You probably have people around you that you don't even know are on it. My husband didn't know, and he's my best friend.
Oh, man.
Which
And that
shows
was like
you,
an ad for
you know
recovery.
you were doing something you shouldn't have been doing.
Exactly.
You
She
know
hid it
your
from her
best
husband.
friend.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you were being sneaky and you were chasing your feelings. So you had to increase it for the feeling and all this kind of
Exactly.
other.
And then
Yeah.
she says, watch out for your friends and family before July 1st. Well, we have to do that now because of people like her that can't be responsible
Exactly.
Yeah.
and are making it be
exactly.
taken away from everybody. So she needs to feel
Exactly.
responsibility for that.
And
So I
this
got
is just
mad.
this is just like people that got addicted to their pain meds. And a
Yeah.
lot of us had to pay the price for that. Even though we didn't have any issues, we
Well-
took responsibility with them. Same thing is now happening with these products.
It goes all the way back to the very first time I consumed kratom. When I first heard about it, I didn't touch it for almost a year and a half because I was finding out all the information I could possibly find. Because I thought, if I'm going to take it, if I'm going to recommend it to my child, because I was looking for something to help my adult daughter, then I need to know everything I can find on it. I went overboard. I wanted to know everything there was to know about this plant that was available at that time. I didn't put any into my body until I had a pretty good understanding of what it was, what to expect, how to expect it. I'm not saying anybody needs to take that much time, but at least take a minute to read the damn label.
Yeah. I didn't rush into I did my research. I wanted to know what it was. I did a bunch of research first. And then I'm like, I don't have much to lose. I can't get access to my meds anymore. And I was almost out. So I was like, I got to just try this and see what happens. But I did thorough research first. I'm not going to just put something in my body just because it's at a store and it says supplement. You got to be kidding me.
They sell booze at a store too.
They sure do. And all kinds of supplements that are not FDA approved that can be dangerous. So people need to educate themselves. And you know, she went down this rabbit hole with a concentrated product. She wasn't paying attention to what, I mean, this, I just don't get it. I don't get people. Yet we're all, you know, caught in the crossfire of it. So this next one.
We all have to pay the price for those few, very few, that were not caring enough of their own bodies to pay attention to what they were doing.
Yes. Well said. That was a great way of saying it. All right, so this next one I'm going to play is out of Kansas. So let's watch this one.
The same bill making changes to THC is also banning Kratom. The Reno County Health Department is working to support those affected by the ban before it takes effect. A health educator tells KSN's Raj Ganakar they are trying to spread the word about risks and resources.
I'm told people use Kratom for a variety of reasons, like managing their anxiety or mental health, or even coming off of opioid use. Though it is also possible for people to get addicted to it or overdose on it. Public health educator Thomas Simmons says the concern is if Kratom is abruptly no longer accessible in any form, people who previously used Kratom experiencing withdrawals are likely to move on to a new substance, and that could raise the chances of overdose.
Hopefully they don't have to just have it ripped away and go through the withdrawals or switch a substance and then risk overdose. And with that, we're asking people, because we know that some people are going to make a switch. So we're asking people to make sure that if they're using, they don't use alone, and they have naloxone on them and know how to use it.
Simmons says they want to prevent that through support like medically assisted treatment that combines medication and counseling to manage substance use. Anyone in need of help can reach out to the Reno County Health Department. Here for you in Reno County, Raj Ganakar, KSN News.
All right.
And that makes me mad because, again, he said that he's worried because people are going to be withdrawing, looking for other things. But what about the people that are in pain that are going to have to be out there looking for
There's
other
going to be
things?
way more people in pain.
Right. And when they get a hold of something bad out on the streets, it's not going to be this person was in pain and this is why they're not here any longer because they had to go out on the streets because they didn't have any more Kratom or pain control. It's going to be this person was an addict, went out on the streets and grabbed it, and now they're not here anymore. And that's going to be the story. And I'm tired of that story.
You're so right, because the lack of proper care and treatment of pain patients, people suffering, leads to them looking for other alternatives. And if they can't find it through something that is safe and natural and good for us in many instances, such as Kratom, they are going to find other ways. And unfortunately, a lot of those people are going to pass. They're going to die. I can't say it any simpler.
I wish there would be some studies. I wish the government would do studies. We know they don't care about us pain people, right. But I wish they would do studies to see how reducing the opiates, they've been reducing the manufacturing for more over a decade. Because I remember my doctor talking to me about it in 2012, right. and it was something the government had already been doing. Every year they make the manufacturers make less. It's a percentage. Yeah. It's a percentage. And it still goes on today. And it's absolutely ridiculous. You would think by now the government would do a study to see how many people that lose access to their meds, what happens to them.
And quit doing it simply as an overdose study. Do it based in reality. It's an overdose because you took away what was allowing them to live, to function, to have a life.
Yeah.
And they had to find something.
Yeah.
And that's what caused the overdose. It isn't an overdose because they're a drug user or a drug seeker. It's an overdose because they could not take the pain. There's a difference.
And if I had not found Kratom, And my choice was, I got to go find it on the streets, and you really don't know what you're getting. And it was the height of fentanyl getting into everything on the streets. I would so easily have been one of those statistics where they would never even know that I'm a former chronic pain patient who lost access because of the ridiculous government policies. And I was left with no other choices but to go find them on the black market. And then what? So then people are going to be like, oh, she must have been a junkie. Oh, poor thing. It's like, no, dude, I just don't want to be suffering.
The pain pills that she got for a while just kept her from going back to the streets. No, not at all.
Yeah. People don't really understand. And this is no shade on anybody in recovery or trying to get into recovery. The four of us here, we all suffer from debilitating chronic pain. And I know many times here in this discussion, we're sharing our side of things and our take on things, but I don't ever want anybody to feel like we're coming down on anybody that have suffered through addiction. Personally, I think accountability is so important. And I think that in the big picture, that could help everybody more if there was more of that. But everybody has their own things they're dealing with. And I understand that too.
Well, and I think a big part of that too goes to, it's beneficial for all of us to have these kinds of discussions and open our minds to what else is out there, what other things go into impact people. Yeah. Because we have to be open and communicative. There again, part of education, opening your minds, sharing information.
Yeah, and we've been doing this weekly live stream discussion since December of 2023. We've been doing this for a long time now because we just all feel it's important to have open, honest discussions and hearing other people's points of views when it comes to this plant and things they're doing to help them, whether it's in their sobriety or with their chronic pain. And Twinkle's done a lot to educate us, with her being comfortable talking about her use of 7-OH in a very controlled way, you're not the stories that have been put out to the media. You're not the stories that the AKA puts out. You're the story of a typical chronic pain patient who's not getting enough relief from a leaf. But I'm not going to demonize you for that because you're using other things that are helping you and you're doing therapeutically.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Your voice
to me, the things that the things that you're using, Twinkle, are no different than if I take Shilajit or Akrama or anything else. We're using the tools we have to the best of our ability.
That's right.
To give ourselves a life.
And a very important footnote to that, something you have legal access to.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
You have legal access to it. So anybody putting shade on that really needs to go take another look at what they're saying because it's available to you.
It's available, but the narrative is they don't want these stories out because there's other people aside from just me who are taking it therapeutically for analgesic relief, and they want to shut those stories down and just call it strictly dangerous. And that's just not true. That can be true for some people, but that's not true as a whole. And I am blessed to be able to go ahead. Sorry.
If they look back, this is exactly how we as original Kratom consumers were treated. Exactly the same thing was occurring 10, 12, 15 years ago that is now. It occurred 10 years ago with extracts. Stop it. Just stop it. Allow people to consume what benefits them, that they have legal access to, and that they're doing it safely. Do we as BAE support 7-OH? No, but we do not support prohibition. So do you, folks. Just make sure you do you smartly, wisely, safely.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, and we all have the right to our own opinions and our own ways of doing things, and don't need to have other people telling us what we can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it goes back to this is something that you can access legally,
Mm-hmm.
and you're a grown adult. So
Absolutely.
even though I don't use 7-OH, I have no need for it. I'm very fortunate that leaf kratom works amazingly well for me. But you know what? I will loudly, proudly say here to the world, if it was not working as well for me, of course I would try 7-OH and use it. So that makes me a bad person because I have legal
I was just
access.
gonna say that.
It's
in a
like that
year,
makes no sense. That
and
makes
you
no
broke a
sense.
bone, or you had compiled injuries, meaning you broke a bone, you're already dealing with your debilitating chronic pain, you didn't have access to a doctor's office, and it's out there legally. Why should you be shamed for trying to relieve your own pain and suffering until you can afford a doctor or get to an ER, or I mean anything? We could go on and on about reasons to people should not be shamed for trying to save their own life. And if tea is sufficient for people, I'm glad. Stay there. There's no reason to need anything else. So we just got,
Yeah.
I'm not going to shame people.
But also on the flip side of that, we're not supporting the 7-OH industry. We're not supporting people buying the products. There's none of that. And that's what it's so interesting when you kind of look at the big picture. Very, very, very much so. But it's like if my choice was, okay, my natural kratom's not working as well, and plenty of people have told me that's happened to them. You get to this place, and then some people are able to get back into pain management or do both, which is great. And some people, like you, Twinkle, just find very therapeutic amounts, very small amounts, your nibbles of 7-OH. So let me see. Let's put some sense into this. So I need something a bit stronger, hypothetically. And so, drug dealer could have fentanyl in it, one pill could kill me.
Mm-hmm.
Or here's something I can get access to, and I could do my research and make sure it's lab tested. And, to me, that's a no-brainer. But here's the thing.
Reputable.
People that don't understand what we're saying about this are people who don't suffer at the same level of chronic pain we do.
They can't,
because there's different levels of it. And
there is.
And look, everybody is different, and I know that, and I respect that. But it's like, you haven't been in my shoes, so don't be telling me like what I can and can't think or can and can't access. If it's legally accessible to me, it's not my fault.
So I think what it is, or possibility of, is because you support me for trying to care for me with the options that I've chose for me, you must be a 7-0 supporter, and so they're going to put it out as.
And how does that make sense? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? So, yeah,
I am not a supporter of any one product or type of product. I am a supporter of an adult consuming what they need to consume for them to be safe, be productive, and have a good life.
And it's been said that I call on no restrictions for 7-0. I've called on many restrictions for 7-0.
We all have.
All of it. Age restrictions, get it out of corner stores, limit. I mean, on and on and on. But what I don't support is an outright ban. So in that context, perhaps that's saying I'm not calling on any restrictions. Then perhaps, depending on the mindset, that could be true. But I have very much called on restrictions and testing and making sure that it's not adulterated with other things. And so I don't care what other people think, I guess.
I call for the same restrictions on any product. Age gating, proper testing, proper labeling, proper packaging, making sure what you put in your body is safe, and education as to what you're putting in your body. And I don't care if it's water or if it's kratom or if it's something else. And quit using the same tactics now that were used against pure leaf kratom consumers in the beginning, because that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, for sure. All right, still a few more news stories. I know we started a little late today, and sorry for those that were waiting on me to get it started. I had a little doggy emergency. I had nothing serious, but something I had to deal with first. Sometimes it happens. Okay, so this next one is a short one. It's out of Idaho, and y'all know how lately, let me back up. So the state of Idaho was trying to ban kratom, didn't work, and this was a few months ago. So now they're just trying to go after some towns, right? And they're just, sometimes that's the strategy of the anti-kratom people. It's like, okay, if you can't get the whole state, then you just go town by town. And so there's a couple of them in Idaho that have been banned recently. So here's a news story talking about another one that's discussing it.
This morning in North Idaho news, the Kootenai County Sheriff and other county leaders had a town hall in Coeur d'Alene last night. It was all to talk about the dangers of kratom. The herbal supplement is legal in Coeur d'Alene, but some other Idaho cities like Kellogg and Idaho Falls have it banned. In Washington, it's also banned in Spokane and Spokane Valley. Kootenai County Coroner Duke Johnson says there were 4 kratom-related deaths in the county last year alone.
The active ingredient, 7-OH metragenine, is known to be 13 times more powerful than morphine. So something that powerful should not be sold in gas stations and convenience stores. From our point of view, there should be some strong legislation coming forward.
Johnson says he supports banning the supplement in Idaho. 4 bills failed in the Idaho legislature last session that would have either completely banned or regulated kratom.
All right, so that was an interesting short, but sadly, that's what sometimes happens. They just try to get it banned in every city and town.
But the fact that it failed 4 times should tell those cities something.
Yes.
It is not something that needs banned. It needs regulated.
Exactly. And regulation would be so much better for everything, because regulation is ensuring that the products people are getting is safe, that it's third-party lab tested. It removes all the bad actors in the industry. It would be great to see that across the board with everything.
And the other thing is, when you have regulation in place, make sure you're enforcing it.
Yeah. I still think it's hilarious here in Texas that we've had a KCPA for years. They've never enforced it. So, I mean, technically, with the KCPA, 7-OH products on the shelves would not be legal, they don't follow the regulation of the KCPA. So technically, they should have been taken down off the shelves years ago. So that hasn't happened, but they've tried to ban it at a state level, all of kratom, because of they're saying these issues with 7-OH, right? So this has gone on for years, apparently. So nothing is passed. There's been no bans, but we have the KCPA. All of a sudden, the Attorney General is going after 7-OH here in Texas. But I think also a lot of it's because he's running for senator. He wants to move on to be a senator in D.C. So I think he's trying to just score points. But it's like, where was the enforcement all along? Why weren't you? Now all of a sudden you're doing it?
Right. And I know you brought up the Attorney General. That was one thing that ChatGPT, I was asking who else should I contact? And they said the Attorney General. I can't remember why, but for anybody contacting people, that would be a good thing, to put in the back of your mind to contact. Sorry, I just thought of it.
Oh, that's a good one, though. That's really good. One more news story. This one's out of Denver. So let me play this one for you all.
Right now, you can find kratom for sale pretty much everywhere. It's often seen as an energy booster, but some medical professionals are warning it is much more than that. A study from the CDC earlier this year showed that in 2025, there were more than 3,400 reports of poisoning linked to kratom. Symptoms can range from vomiting and high blood pressure to seizures and hallucinations. Some local treatment centers say they have seen a rise in the number of people coming in to get help with addictions to it. Jason Valderrama from Community Medical Services is joining me now to talk more about it. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Corey.
First of all, what is kratom? What is it used for?
Yes, so kratom is a plant, and it is a compound that gets derived from the leaves. It can get turned into a powder. It can get turned into pills. It can get turned into a drink, and people are taking it orally.
So what makes it so addictive?
Yeah, the way that kratom works is the compound binds to the same receptor that heroin does, or the same receptor that fentanyl does.
Oh.
So in lower doses, it can act kind of like a stimulant. People take it because they feel like it gives them a little bit of energy. But then as they take higher and higher doses, it starts to act like a opioid. And so you can see addiction develop.
It's wild because you can find this pretty much anywhere. People think, oh, you know, it's just an energy booster. It's like a Red Bull, but it is not. It is very different. Talk about why it can be so different and dangerous.
Yeah, it can be so dangerous because in a very short period of time, I've had patients who told me after just a couple of weeks of taking this or a couple of months of taking this, I can't stop. And so it gets to that point where you get in this cycle of, I'm taking something to try and get this effect, and now it's no longer giving me that effect, but I can't stop it because I get so sick. The withdrawal is just like a withdrawal from any other opioid, and it feels terrible.
Yeah, it seems like we've seen quite an increase in kratom use over the years. And even at your clinic, you're saying that you're seeing more people come in saying that they're addicted to it.
We absolutely are. And kratom is not new. It's been around since the 90s, but in the last 3 years, we're seeing the product be more synthesized and some derivatives of kratom that are so much more potent. And just like anything, when you increase potency, you increase the risk of addiction, you increase those risk of side effects. And so in the last 3 years with products like 7-OH, this derivative, we're seeing a lot more people coming in.
I wanted you to mention that because you might not see it as kratom anymore. It's being branded or listed as 7-OH.
It has many other things, and it's bought online. It's bought, like you said, at gas stations, at smoke shops is a really common place. And people think, well, this is over the counter. This is just a supplement. It's okay if I use this or try and use it to help me get off of something else, and then in fact find themselves in just as much trouble.
Is it FDA regulated?
It is a regulated. In Colorado, we have regulation around it. You have to be 21 years or older to buy. They are making limits on how much 7-OH they can put into the product, which is great. But it's still so easy to access, and there's still a lot of workarounds. So we have seen a huge increase in the last 3 years.
How do you treat addiction for kratom?
Exactly. Such an important question, because there is treatment, there is hope. Just like we would use medications to help somebody get off of heroin or off of fentanyl, we have medications like Suboxone and methadone that we use that are really effective at helping people get off of this roller coaster of whatever opioid or opioid-like substance that they're using.
2 questions for you. How can you recognize that someone maybe in your family is dealing with a kratom maybe overdose, and how do you have that conversation with them?
Yeah, so overdose symptoms, you'll notice somebody is not breathing right. That's the biggest thing. That's what causes somebody to pass away from an overdose is respiratory depression. So blue lips, long pauses between breathing. So if somebody's having an overdose, Narcan is the best thing that you can do for somebody in that situation. As far as recognizing somebody who is struggling, there's a lot of collateral damage. We see just impacts to relationships, impacts ability to work, impacts ability to function. And so being able to approach somebody and say, hey, there's hope, there's help, there's treatment available is something that we can do.
Absolutely. Great information. Really appreciate you coming in. And by the way, if you want to get more information about treatment and recovery with community medical.
All right.
That has to be one of the worst I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Truly.
I agree.
Because he just put so many people at risk.
Wow.
He didn't help at all. He put people deliberately at risk.
Yeah. That was
And the whole
something
time
else.
he was talking about it, and about his patient that was addicted, he had that picture of the leaf up there, not even the crushed leaf, or not even the powdered leaf. It was just like the crushed tea bag type stuff. I don't even know if it was kratom, but that's the picture they had up there while they were talking about that.
Yeah, that was
And
an
then
interesting one.
I've barely taken kratom in the last 3 months, a little over 3 months. I went over a month, 5 weeks, didn't have any, had a little, like 1 teaspoon tea, didn't have it again for another month or so, had a little tea, and nothing happened. I mean, so how much do we have to take for these things to occur? Do we need to take 30, 40 grams a day? Do we need to take 100 grams a day? Are we fine with 15, 20 for some people? Is it 5 for somebody else? I mean, we don't even know. Well, at this time that I stopped it, I was only about 7 grams a day. Previously, years back, I was like 16, 20 sometimes. But this time, like, I mean, nothing happened, but you gals know, or most of you, that I had previously took like 2-3 day breaks every now and again. I hated doing that, but because of all the talk of tolerance, oh, maybe it's not working no more because of tolerance, this or that, I did it. But, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying these things don't happen to everybody. And they
Yeah.
always like to group it all up that it's everybody who takes it. Like one pill, you're done. You have to chase after it, and you can never stop yourself. The tea, same thing. You're going to become addicted, and we just listened to one just a bit ago that you can't stop. And it's a type of person that can't stop. It's the mindset and a different kind of illness that is making somebody not be able to stop or reduce or minimize. Or
to me, the single biggest thing was him talking about respiratory depression. Pure leaf kratom does not have respiratory depression. It's not a part of the action. So stop putting out lies. If you want to demonize something, demonize it, but at least demonize it with truth.
With truth and honesty. That's right.
Hey, if you take a whole lot of kratom, you're going to be constipated. You're going to be dehydrated if you don't drink water. Come on.
You might throw up if you take too much.
Yeah, at least speak truth.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
The comments are on fire today. Everybody has lots to say about
I do not understand how we have become such a society that we allow lies to be perpetuated.
Right.
And to worship the people perpetuating them. It just, maybe I've gotten too old for this world. I don't know.
And always wanting to dictate what somebody else does while you can't even keep your own self in check. It's odd. It's you know.
Yeah. Thank you, Bombastic, for listening and enjoying our show today. We appreciate that. Yeah, some crazy stuff. Wait till you see this next one I found. So you may have noticed a lot of these news stories. It's like, are they advertisements for recovery centers? Like, what's going on? So we're done with the news stories, but this next one is a channel. It's called Real Recovery Talk. So I guess just, recovery stories and stuff. I don't know. But this one, they have a 47-minute, I guess, podcast or whatever on Kratom. I'm just going to play a couple of parts from it, a couple of clips, but I just thought this one really caught my eye. Watch. I'm going to play this first clip. It's a minute long.
Is showing up more often in overdose death. Warning about the herbal supplement called Kratom.
Some say it's as addictive as heroin. Others say it's the cure to their chronic pain.
He's in a coma from it.
Within 7 days, I felt like I wanted to kill myself.
I know I'll just dabble in Kratom because it's not that big of a deal. We're addicts, and like, if it doesn't work in the first 5 minutes, obviously I didn't take enough. And so I just take more and more. And next thing you know, I'm overdosed and I'm intubated in the hospital.
What?
And this person called us like basically in tears, didn't know what to do. And this was a past heroin fentanyl addict that's crying that the Kratom withdrawal is worse than heroin and fentanyl. And I have heard that from several clients.
I was basically watching somebody come off of heroin that had been using for years.
There's always the question of, is it mental health or is it addiction? Enjoy the show.
All right. So that's just to give you an idea of this episode. And let me forward
This
to...
is going to be a 3 or 4 item throw.
Yes. And I'm just going to play one more clip because it's just a lot of craziness. And for those that want to watch the whole thing a little later here on the YouTube channel, in the description for today's show, I'll put links to everything we watched. But I'm going to play another clip that's a couple of minutes long.
One of the articles that I was looking at that popped up was there was 6 Kratom overdoses in Los Angeles, but they aren't crediting it towards Kratom, specifically 7-OH version of Kratom, which is the extract, which is even stronger, which it comes in pill form now. And one pill, from what I've seen, could be anywhere from 2 to 4 servings. But the issue is, like with those cases in Los Angeles County, there was also alcohol involved with it. So they're putting it down as polysubstance overdose, so to speak. And nobody's tracking it. But, I want to throw it out there firsthand. What we're seeing now, like I have a personal friend that was in long-term recovery. And when I say long-term, over a decade, who got into Kratom. The 7-OH came around, and the latest update as of this, and I just was trying to get an update 2 days ago, right, Destiny?
Mm-hmm.
And he's in a coma from it. We know another young lady that ended up in the hospital and was intubated for how many days?
At least 48 hours.
Yeah. Took her a few days to come to, like couldn't talk when she woke up, all the whole thing. And the hospital, again, they don't test for it. So, but to this individual's own admission, when they woke up, it was the 7-OH version of Kratom. So it's like literally starting to hospitalize and kill people.
Well, and the hospitals are seeing it more too, because I've had conversations with an ER nurse who says, generally when somebody comes in that looks like they've had an overdose, but their toxicology report comes back and it's all negative, they're starting to just pretty much 100% guarantee that it's Kratom, because the ER is seeing more admissions of people coming in overdosing.
Are y'all hearing what she's saying? First of all, everything they're saying is hearsay. Everything. Oh, we heard this, or we read this, or somebody told me this. But she's basically saying in the ER, if there's nothing in your system, that's automatic Kratom.
And they're not bothering to look at research chemicals, because guess what? Those are still alive and well out there.
Yeah. I mean, this is just craziness coming out of these people. I'm just gonna play a little bit more of this clip, but the things that just came out of her. Let me back up. I want to make sure everybody caught this, because she's just saying some crazy stuff here.
Starting to hospitalize and kill people.
Well, and the hospitals are seeing it more too, because I've had conversations with an ER nurse who says, generally when somebody comes in that looks like they've had an overdose, but their toxicology report comes back and it's all negative, they're starting to just pretty much 100% guarantee that it's Kratom, because the ER is seeing more admissions of people coming in overdosing on Kratom. And that was just, up here in this area,
For the listeners too, what Tom was referring to is, just for anybody that might not know and didn't catch the previous episode Tom did, like there's the Kratom leaf, which is basically ground down and people make a tea out of, and it still has an opioid effect. And it is definitely causing problems for people. Some people are pro, some people are not. But now that they got this new version out, this new extract,
far more aggressive.
And it was actually just made illegal in the state of Florida. And essentially speaking, we were having a discussion with one of.
So he got the information so wrong here. It's like they're taking all this. I read this, I heard this, and now he's sitting there talking like, yeah, it just got made illegal in Florida. It's like, dude,
it's just the opposite. The ban is releasing now.
But it was it's like last year. And it's exactly, but they talk. Let me play a little bit more of this, and then we'll move on. There's so much crazy stuff in this.
The local police departments. Tom got some info that there's a interdepartmental email going around saying that they're not going to do anything about it. Essentially, when literally all the gas stations, vape shops in Palm Beach County are still selling this version of Kratom. The other Kratom, the Kratom leaf, is still legal in Florida. It's the 7-OH that's illegal, but they're literally not going to do anything about it. I could walk into a gas station or a vape shop right now and find it in a heartbeat. Like, it's easy as getting a Red Bull.
Yeah, I believe it was April of last year. I think you actually said it. April of last year, it's now considered Schedule 1.
Where is he getting all this information from? Before Florida did anything, it was at the federal level of them wanting it scheduled for the whole country, and that was July of last year. It was after that when Florida decided, let's go ahead and get 7-0 off the shelves. It was temporary. It's going to get lifted. July 1st, right? I believe.
Yes.
because the state legislator didn't do anything with it. But where are they? I mean, they're just all making up different things. They don't even know. They're not fact checking. Where is he getting?
They're
April of last
literally.
year?
This is the worst of clickbaiting I have seen in a long time.
This is so this is such a bad one. The amount of misinformation coming out of it, and they're talking like it's all fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the things that I can't help but wonder if what she said had even a grain of truth, that ERs are classifying these ODs as kratom, even if they're not. What is that doing to the numbers we're seeing?
Right.
So you're feeding the fallacy even more.
Yeah.
By saying, oh, well, it must be a kratom OD. No. You can't OD on kratom.
Right.
Just like COVID and all the deaths during COVID, and they just marked them COVID deaths. Or the people, the gunshot and the car accident, or the other things that happened, and they're calling it a kratom death when something else entirely killed them.
Right.
They always do that to make their statistics go up, and it's just not truthful. Opioids, for an example, all the people they claim died of opioids did not die of opioids. They may have been taking opioids.
Yeah.
They didn't die of opioids. They did the same thing, and they do it all the time. Or opiates.
It doesn't absorb.
Yeah. It's just so much misinformation. It's mind-boggling, the amount of misinformation.
I'm going to say it's not even misinformation. It's straight up lies, and they know it.
Yeah. Well, that would be what? Disinformation, right? When they know it's not true. I mean, just the things coming out of them, it's just crazy. And that's one of the big reasons why I started the Kratom Gals show, is because I just couldn't believe how many videos are out there for the public where all this craziness comes out of people. It's like, what? Where are they getting this information from? It's insane. Plus, y'all, I totally forgot to mention, one of my TikTok videos has totally gone viral. And it's so funny because it was is that 30,000 views right now? I'm like, holy cow. It's super short. All I did, I just don't know if I should play it because it has music, and TikTok music over on YouTube. YouTube doesn't like it, and many times they'll flag it, but I can't seem to make it not do it. But all it is I'm doing a video reply, and somebody's comment says, as usual, we're having a discussion about kratom like we always do on my TikTok, and somebody's comment says, and I just did a video reply, and all I'm doing is I'm pointing to their comment. It says, keeps me off opioids, and I don't even feel like drinking anymore. Love kratom. So I just wanted I didn't want to say, like, I know many times I talk about whatever the comment is and we have a discussion around it, but I'm like, the comment says it all. So I'm just pointing to it like, yeah, with some music playing. And it was from a couple of days ago, and I can't believe it's at 30,000 views, but what's so funny, y'all, whenever you get one going viral like that, people come out of the woodwork. All these crazy people are jumping into my comments. I can't tell y'all how many people I had to block yesterday, spewing all kinds of misinformation and disinformation and blah, blah, blah. Now, I'll entertain some people and call them out on their BS or say, well, what exactly did you take and how much? But most of them are just idiotic comments. And it's like, no, this is my TikTok account. You're not going to come over here and invade my space where we talk about our personal experience. And so I haven't checked the comments since yesterday. So if you go over there today, there's probably more craziness. I just can't believe it's at 30,000.
That's amazing.
Wow.
But the thing is, and my point with this is that this video, we're just looking at these people, they're just saying all kinds of crazy stuff without having facts. So it made me think of that viral video of mine, because the last couple of days when I go check the comments, I just can't believe the craziness that comes out of people because they heard about this and they have this wrong idea about, it's like, we're talking about a plant. You know, we're talking about a plant. That's all we're talking about, and how it benefits us. And one of them yesterday was saying something rude. And I said, for some of us, it changes our lives. Why don't you be happy for us? I got a little snarky. I usually just block or delete or whatever, but it's like,
But that would be
well, I could be
nice
snarky.
because
I
it
feel
does
this-
help a lot of us.
It
And if they would
does.
just be happy.
And people just, they don't want other people to get their lives back or be happy because they had a negative experience. You know, some of it was the hearsay, but there were some people about their horrible experience. Oh, you're going to be addicted, blah, blah, blah. As, you know,
Okay, first up, people that are throwing the addiction word out there about Kratom. Guess what, folks? Do some research. Look into pause.
Yes.
Mostly it's secondhand information. It's that they heard it from somebody, or somebody said this, or somebody, and there's bots all over the internet, TikTok, X, all over. So you don't even know sometimes if the story is even true either way, unless you're acquainted with somebody. But just like we just watched here, that's just secondhand. They heard it from somebody. It's what somebody said, and the nurse told me, and this and that. We don't even know if that's even true, if the nurse friend said that.
Exactly. I'm trying to decide if I should. I'll just play the video. It's just, it has some music. It's short and it's just looping, but I can't get the music to not play. So YouTube might flag it, but it's on my profile.
Where'd she go?
I pressed the wrong button. I'm sorry. I was trying to go
live streaming.
I'm trying to go somewhere else, and I thought I clicked on the right place. Instead, I clicked here and went away. Sorry about that. It was user error. My fault. I was trying to. I'll just go ahead and show y'all the TikTok. I mean, I just hope I don't get in trouble with it, because YouTube does not. If you have music that's coming from TikTok, they do not like it.
What about at least putting up a link to your TikTok? And that way we can
Yeah,
go see it without
it's
getting in trouble.
on my YouTube. I'm gonna just show my profile. So for those that are looking for it, you can see it's the one on the far right. It's the one where I'm pointing up right here, where it says the love icon Kratom. So top right, that's the one. If you're on your phone, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be the 6th one down. But I'm just pointing to the comment. It's just the music playing, but tons of reactions. It's just, I can't believe it's at 30,000 views. It's like, holy cow. And it's always just, whenever that happens, it's always a TikTok video you would least expect to be doing that. It's like, I'm not even talking. It's really short. I'm just pointing like that. But it was a good message. And I think that's why it's attracting people. So that's a good thing. That's just trying to educate people.
That is so great.
But yeah, it's just crazy comments and just crazy discussions, just like what we watched on that YouTube. I'm going to play, I came across an interesting interview where they talk about Kratom. It's a podcaster we've seen a few times here on the show. The guy's name is Danny Jones. He's a popular podcaster. His YouTube, he has like over 1 million subscribers just on his YouTube. And he's had Dr. McCurdy on. He's had a variety of people that have talked about Kratom on the show. So he has this new one that came out yesterday. And they talk about, it's not just on Kratom, but they do have a segment about 3 minutes long talking about Kratom. And I thought it was really interesting. So for those that are regulars, you'll recognize the interviewer, because we were just watching something. We were watching with him recently interview what's his name? Chris Bell's brother. Chris Bell from A Leaf of Faith. His brother is, they're in the Kratom industry. And so his brother is really popular. He's a popular podcaster too. All right, so let me play this for y'all.
Hopkins.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it tastes fucking really good.
Doesn't taste bad at all for an energy thing.
But it's a fucking Kratom energy drink. That's the problem.
Oh, really?
People can get super addicted to it.
Oh, I already take Kratom. How is it going to make me
I
puke?
know you already take them, so you probably fucking love it.
Well, I don't take a lot of kratom. I take 3 capsules, and I take a pretty low amount. But
yeah, but that's like the capsules. You don't really know like what is like how much are you really getting? You know.
I think capsules is one of the ways you always know what you're getting. It's measured.
Yeah, they can only hold so
Exactly.
much.
I mean, isn't that a crazy comment? Here's what's wild. So that's the YouTuber guy, the podcaster. Every time we've watched any of these clips where they're talking about kratom, he has his white rabbit. I'm thinking it must be a sponsor. He's always saying he drinks those, which is a kratom drink, right? And he sits there and will say negative things about it, but he loves them, and he talks about how much he loves them. But where is he getting the whole capsules? You don't know what you're getting when you take 2 capsules? That's just an odd statement. I don't know.
First off, unless you're packing them yourself and you're not paying attention to what you're doing, if you're purchasing capsules, they are weighed and measured because they're sold by that weight.
Exactly.
And if you're packing them yourself, at least learn how to pack them so that you got the same amount each and every time.
Exactly. All right, I'll keep going with this. But when he said that, I'm just like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, well, we'll fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
FAFO
This is the first time I ever had kratom.
Sorry, Professor Dave.
It's clearly working.
I was on
Don't fix it.
Oxycontin. Dude, I was on Oxycontin. And I've never done fentanyl, but that must be one of the worst things to kick. Fent? That's got to not be good to kick. Because Suboxone felt worse than not having Oxycontin. Suboxone felt, by a lot.
And the kratom helped you get off the Oxycontin?
Off the Suboxone. Because they'll keep
you
Suboxone,
right.
And then, but like I said, I take 3 capsules of it like 3 times a day. So
of the kratom capsules. But you get like legit stuff. You're not buying from the gas station.
Well, if I couldn't find it, I'd probably buy it from wherever. The things, but the thing is, it's just a leaf that's ground up. So
yeah,
Ron Taylor. But a lot of people that try this shit have never done drugs. So if you've never done opiates or had a problem like I would have had, you would be like, this is fucking crazy. I don't get like a high from it.
Right.
I mean, also it has a thing where in low doses, it's like a energy more than.
That's what this stuff is. Right. Like you drink one of these and it gives you energy, like super mental clarity and focus.
It's a low dose.
If you drink 2 of them, it'll feel like kind of like a Xanax type deal.
If you drink 3 of them, you'll puke. You puke it up if you can't OD on kratom. It'll make you throw
Really?
up. Oh yeah, you get real
sick.
sick.
I had this dude on the podcast once.
I mean, I don't know if you mixed it with shit and made a extract. I don't know anything about that.
I had this dude on the podcast once that right before we started, he goes, hold on 1 second. And he takes a fucking giant scooper.
Yeah. I used to have a scooper.
He has a huge Ziploc bag. He goes,
I've done that.
Dry scoops fucking kratom right down his gullet right before we started. And then he like washed it down with a couple pills and then he fucking washed it down with one of these.
Well, how much heroin was he on?
Oh my God. I don't even think he was on heroin. I think he just uses it as like a focus drug or whatever.
Dude, to do that's like a lot of kratom to do. First of all,
maybe he must have been on something. I don't know.
Anybody dry scooping anything, please don't do that. Well, I do what you want. I'm not your dad, but it's gross. And also to dry scoop, I don't even know how you would do that and not die.
No, I don't
because that shit is so like it doesn't absorb water well.
Right. It's like cinnamon, right?
It's an alkaline.
It's like something where it's like you'd be like taking cinnamon or something. Like, I don't know how you would physically be able to do that.
I'm gonna stop there. Because then they go in a whole different direction. But it was just interesting all over the map talking about kratom, like some positive stuff and some very negative things.
He is so right, though, about dry scoop. Please don't.
Yeah.
I tried it the other day. The last time I had the tea, I think I told you gals. So because I live here now, so in the other house, I would pre-make it similarly to Venus, and I would just have it in the fridge. When I first moved here, I did the same and kept it out in the fridge, put it in the jug, made it more of a tea, kept it out here. But I don't bring it out because the kids live here, so I don't do that. So I had some up in the room, Christopher's, of course, and I took the little spoon, and one of your guests or somebody said just not long ago that they would put some liquid under their tongue, they would take their scoop, put it in their mouth, So that's what I did. And then I swished it and I chased it with coffee. It was the first time ever that I
Wow.
have did that. So it was kind of, you know, grainy, or I don't want to say grainy, not like cinnamon, but it did work by putting a little liquid in my mouth under, you know, my tongue, put it in, I swished it, and then it went right down. But that was the first time I actually did that. And so
see,
I
I
was
can't.
able to learn.
I
Not for
love
me.
you guys that do the swamp water. I cannot.
me.
I have to toss and wash. And that's how I do it, is I put the water in the front of my mouth. Because when I first started trying it, I used to try and put the water in the back of my mouth, and I would end up inhaling it every time.
Wow.
So finally now I learned, put it in the front and just swallow it down.
Mm-hmm.
But just a dry scoop, ooh, yeah, no.
That was a dry scoop. I mean, I used to even mix, like, make it a little tiny sauce container, put it in there and put just a little water, and it was thick, and I would have it like that if it wasn't in the form of like an actual tea, which was most often. But I did it the other day, or 4 or 5 days ago, whatever that was.
To me, when I hear dry scoop, it's they're not putting water in their mouth first.
Oh, I see.
They're just literally dumping powder in their mouth and then swallow it.
I never.
The only time I've seen that, on, there's no way I could do that, but on video, Jordan's mom, she does that. And so he's done videos when he's with her. So for those that don't know, Jordan at New Hope Botanicals, and he's hilarious to follow on TikTok. Kratom Ninja is his username, and always doing lots of educational stuff. But every once in a while, his mom will do it on camera, and I mean, she literally takes a scoop, put it in her mouth, and that's it. And she says she loves the taste. And it's like, how do you get that down? Just the powder. But I've seen several videos he's done with her showing everybody that she does that. I was like, how do you
Props to her, but no way. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I do the swamp water method. I just heat up a little bit, just a small amount of water so it can mix, and add some juice, and I just drink it really fast. I use a straw because that really helps. And I've been doing it every day for 7 years, so I'm used to it now. That the first few years it was hard. Then I discovered a straw, and I was like, I don't know why I didn't think to try a straw sooner, because that makes a big difference. And also trying different juices too. Like a few years after I started, I heard about tart cherry juice from one of our community members. I'm like, I never even heard of tart cherry juice. So I tried that, and it's such a strong flavor. Plus, that's, a lot of people say it's really healthy for you. And adding that to the swamp water kratom, huge difference. It's like you hardly even tasted the kratom doing it that way. But I still like, doing OJ. I'll switch it out and do pineapple juice. I'll kind of rotate juices. Everybody's sharing their method. This is great, y'all. Share your method of how you're consuming your kratom.
I love that, because if somebody doesn't, they may see something that may work for them that they never knew about. So I love everybody sharing.
Exactly.
When I first started, I couldn't get toss and wash down. I couldn't do swamp water. And it was like, what am I going to do? And I started mixing it with peanut butter, because peanut butter completely masks the taste and the texture. And so for a good 3 months, that's how I consumed kratom, was mixed with peanut butter.
Interesting. It's finding what works for you. Now, if anybody is looking to try, these different alternative methods, come join us at our Kratom Real Talk community. I'm going to show you real quick in the classroom. I got videos. I help people out, because when I started, there was no information like this. And so if you go over to our Kratom Real Talk, kratomrealtalk.com, over on the school platform, it's free to join, but you got to be a member to get in here. Go into the classroom. Go to New to Kratom, tap here, and I got swamp water. I got a 5-minute video. I've got all these different videos. So I'll play a little bit. Here's a 5-minute of how I make my swamp water. From start to finish, how I make my kratom, otherwise known as swamp water. because I make mine more like a tea. So I always start off with putting a little bit of water into a cup. I have this small cappuccino cup. I fill it up about maybe not quite halfway, just enough to get some water in there. And then I'm going to put it in the microwave. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but then I got other thing I like, Kratom tablets, not 7.0, is these, they're Kratom powder pressed into a tablet. Super Speciosa makes these. And I love these for on the go. And I realized I didn't have a video about that. So I made one recently that's also in here. I'll play a little bit. All right, I'm due for my Kratom. And instead of making my swamp water tea, I'm going to do my Kratom tablets. These are not the 7.0H tablets. These are natural Kratom that have been pressed into a tablet. And so I like the Super Speciosa. This is their green volley. And on the back side, it has the label. And you can see it shows for the mitragynine 1.5%. And for the 7.0H, 0.002%. So I got these recently, and I bought it when it was on sale. So I got a good deal and bought it in bulk. Normally, I would just get the smaller packages. This is an older one. And so you want to check the labs on their website when you're ordering because... So I got that. Plus, I have a 7-minute video. I know this helped Angela. I know there's 2 Angelas here. Angela, that's been coming here for a long time. This helped her a lot because it's like blade pape. So I have a 7-minute, I'll play a little bit, 7-minute video, step by step, how to use blade papes. Hold on, I don't know why he's trying to play way over there. I take some Kratom, my afternoon dose, and I'm going to use blade papes. I've talked about these before. It's these little pouch things. It comes with this little cardboard thingy too that's really helpful because these are like a little film pouches, and then this is a little holder for it. So I'm going to take my little package here. They give you a lot of these. For $20, you get, I think it's 120 pouches. So light papes, they're like this. And then there's also square ones that you can buy as well. So these are so thin. So I'm going to pull out 2 of them because I take 2 teaspoons of Kratom and I fit 1 teaspoon really well. You don't want to overpack it. You don't want to put too much. These are so paper thin. And see, I got like 2 of them stuck together here. So sometimes it takes a minute to get these unstuck, but they're just super thin, okay? And what this does is it holds your Kratom. So I get the little cardboard thing, and it's like a funnel, and it's so perfectly shaped. So I'm going to do that, and then I got my Kratom. I have my New Hope Botanical Super Green. And what I do, I can't really fit a 1 teaspoon. I'm going to do a teaspoon, but I do half a teaspoon at a time because you can only fit so much at once in here. I found this is how I do it. So I get half a teaspoon, and I can very easily get that in there. When I try doing the teaspoon, and maybe it's because of the shape of this, but it's too hard to do. So I'm going to just do 2 of these, which will be equal to 1 teaspoon. And then I'm going to down it, and then I'll do another one. All right, so and what you do is, now if you go to Blade Pape's YouTube, they have videos showing you how, but I watched it, learned how, and now I'm showing you. So make sure your fingers are dry. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold down the ends and then the top. So I'm making like this little, like a little pouch, right? And we're going to dip it in the water. When you dip it in the water, it's going to start gelling this. And then you swallow it and drink the water. So I got my water. I like cold water. So I'm going to dip it. Okay. And that's it. So easy. It just goes right down. You do not taste the powder at all. I'll stop there. I'm sure some people have never seen Blade Papes, and it just like had dawned on me like, well, I should make a video just step by step. And I was so scared to do it the first time You know, I was because you like I went over to Blake Pape's YouTube and I watched some videos of Harrison doing it, the owner, and I've had him on the podcast before. He's a cool guy. But you look at those things, you go, it's kind of big. Can you really swallow that? And I just remember the first time, and I was so nervous. I'm going to record myself because this will help somebody. That wasn't the video. I actually had a different one because I was very nervous. I was like, I hope this works. But then it's like, I'm going to make a video that I'll put over on school that'll help people. And that video is me making my twos for, I can, don't overpack them. Like I've had people like, tell me like I made one of those and I took it and it went everywhere. And I'm like, how much did you put in it? They overpacked it. You don't want to overpack it because then it'll just kind of, and you want to pay attention when you're trying to get it down, because one time I wasn't paying attention. It was when we had a hurricane a couple of years ago and I lost power. And so I couldn't make my swamp water for a week. So I had no choice but to use Blake Papes. And one day I was just not paying attention. When you're in the heat and no AC and it was getting to me. I remember my Blake Pape, I wasn't paying attention and it kind of got stuck. And then the powder, I'm like, ugh. But I was like, note to self, kind of pay attention to what you're doing, so you get that thing down. But it really does work. It's a great alternative if you don't want to do capsules, but you don't want to do swamp water or toss and wash. It's a real interesting alternative. So blakepapes.com, highly recommend them.
And you can use it for other things too. Any other supplements that you might be taking that are powder form.
Yes, especially the ones that don't taste very good, like that. How do you pronounce it? Akuma. Thank you. I was thinking it, but I'm like, I don't even know how to say it. And that Blake Papes is at my link there, plus other companies that I support that actually educate and advocate for natural kratom. They're on my list there. But Blake Papes is on there as well. It's an interesting way to consume your kratom. It's a little different, but I just have never been a big fan of the capsules. Although now I've discovered Mitraspec and they do those vegan capsules, which are way better than the regular capsules that other companies use. And then found out Christopher does vegan capsules too. I didn't even know that.
And something I was always taught about capsules is make sure you take it with either something hot or something acidic to help dissolve the capsule, or poke small holes in the capsule so that as it goes down, it starts to disperse.
I've tried that, and it did. When I first started kratom, and I will admit I was being a wuss. Everybody says it tastes bad. I'm like, ooh, I don't want to drink some nasty tea. So I started with capsules, and I could not get them to work on me at all. And I saw people saying, poke holes, poke holes. I remember I'm poking all these holes, and nothing, no different. I'm like, why are these capsules not working on me? But then I switched to powder. I'm like, that wasn't easy to drink, but it was so worth it. And I didn't want to suffer in pain. So it was hard to do, but worth the pain relief I was getting.
For me, having some capsules on hand is great because if I'm traveling, it's easy to carry them that way. But I always end up emptying them out and doing toss and wash with them because capsules just don't do anything for me either.
Yeah, it's finding what works for you, and everybody's different. I know lots of people that do great with capsules, and that's what works for them. I know people that just love using Blake Papes. I know people that, it's all different, and also different doses. I mean, I've known people that only take a quarter teaspoon for pain relief, and people that take multiple tablespoons for it. It's and everything in between. It's what works for you. And Melly, this is interesting. You mentioned turmeric. So I cannot stand the taste of turmeric at all. And I went through this phase of like, I want to get the health benefits. Everybody talks about it. So I was adding it to my morning kratom about a year and a half ago. It was a while back. And I was doing that, the black pepper. I was doing the whole thing. And I just cannot handle the taste of turmeric at all. So I'm like, wait a minute. I should put this in my Blake Pape. So for a while, I had this whole system. I take my morning kratom and then I make a Blake Pape and I put the turmeric, the black pepper, and there was something else I was putting in there too. But I could not for the life of me notice any difference taking turmeric or not. Like it didn't do anything for me. I did it for a long time. It's like nothing. It's so weird.
I have never had any benefit from taking it that I've noticed, but maybe part of that is because I can't take the pepper with it because I'm allergic to
I've done it with pepper. I've done it without pepper.
Yep.
It doesn't help me either, and it does put extra pain in my body if I take it too
Really?
long because of the autoimmune conditions.
Oh
Yeah.
man! And I've done the moringa, especially Twinkle when you really educated me on moringa a
Yeah,
few
I
years
still
ago.
have it, yeah.
And I bought a whole package of it powder. I would add it to my morning
Oh, it's
kratom, and then I've
awful.
tried doing the blade papes
Horrible.
with it, and I just did it for a long time, and I did not notice it. And I know
So it doesn't really give any pain relief for me, but it did provide benefits as far as my hair. My hair was really thin then. Like when I first met you guys, my hair was really thin, and combination of stress and some other things. But anyway, it really helped add nutrients back, and it did definitely offer benefit for just it has a multitude of vitamins in it. And so it did help in that aspect, but not necessarily pain relief.
Well, and when I was doing these other supplements, it wasn't necessarily for pain relief. It was like because I know a lot of them are supposed to be good for anti-inflammatory, but I'm just thinking big picture. Like I don't notice anything different with my body.
Yeah.
Period of anything. Gigi says for some reason the super speciosa tablets upset her stomach, but switched to ether. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure they're all for one manufacturer, like one manufacturer for both. I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%, but Etha does manufacturing of the tablets, and I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've done both, and I don't have any issues. But then also earlier, I forgot who it was. Somebody else here was saying that they've had issues with the super speciosa tablets too, where it upset their stomach. And I had never really heard of anybody having that issue. And I take ashwagandha as well. I love ashwagandha. I've been doing the ashwagandha capsules from Mitraspec. I love them. And they're having a big sale right now too, by the way. They're on the I'll just leave that at the ticker. They're on the list too. And isn't it they want to? Is it India that wants to ban ashwagandha? Wasn't there something recently where something about banning ashwagandha?
I think the plant, the leaf. The leaf.
They're banning the leaf, not the root and bark. So apparently there's some kind of issue that they think is occurring with the leaf.
Really?
Yeah.
But that seems so strange to ban just the leaf. You know what I mean? Not the plant. It just doesn't make any sense to me. That they're banning it at all makes no sense. But
right.
Yeah.
And especially since ashwagandha is so huge in the Ayurvedic medicine realm, and that's kind of home base is India, so it's
interesting.
Definitely weird.
Interesting. Lori, that's good to hear that you're liking that ethos product, the 7th hour. So yeah, I remember when it came out a while back. So it's not, I don't know why they call it 7. Like I did not think that was a good branding thing they did. But it's not a 7OH product. It's just a high MIT product. But I have the link in the ticker here. Discounts for all of them. These are all my favorite companies. I love all them. So that's coming right up in the ticker. But thanks for sharing that, because I know some people like those higher MIT extract products. And some of these companies are starting to make these like extract tablets that are like at the higher MIT. So I think that's interesting. Ryan says he has, how do you say that? I can never get that right.
Ankylosing spondylosis. Yeah.
That's a hard one to say.
Spondylitis. Well, litis when it's flaring. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, he's getting huge relief. That's great. Alongside Lion Diet. What's a Lion Diet? I'm curious what that is.
I'm not sure. That part I'm not sure.
That one I'm not positive of.
Yeah. Lori, I'm so glad that product is helping you stay off of or keeping you off of 7OH today. I know you've been really struggling with all of this, and we're always here for you. And I know you know that, Lori. That's really all I had for today. We had plenty to watch. So many things, so many local news stories with all kinds of crazy things about Kratom.
And it just flew by. And thank you, everybody, for waiting for us this morning or this afternoon, too. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we were about, 15 or about 20 minutes late getting started. That was all on me. Literally, like, not even 10 minutes before we were going to go live, my dog was giving me the sign that she needed to go out and do something real quick. And that's not normal for her to do in the middle of the day. And so I'm like, I gotta go do this real quick, because
you don't ignore that.
she needed to go do that. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at her like, what are you doing? Like, normally she's in my office closet right here sleeping, like, during the day. Like, she doesn't get up during the day, and she comes up and comes into the kitchen. I'm trying to finish lunch and get ready to come do the show, and she's coming in there and she's whining. I'm like, oh, I know that whine. Doesn't happen very often, but it's either going to be like 3 a.m. She's done this to me, or 2 or 3 a.m. It's not very often, but sometimes that whine comes. And it's like, I got to go now, Mom, right now. And I don't remember the last time she did that in the middle of the afternoon like that. That was odd. So I had to go do this real quick, and I'm glad I did. She's fine. She really just needed to go do that real quick. So,
are you picking a word today?
Yes, we need to do our weekly. Thanks for always reminding me.
Yes,
Ryan. I appreciate that. I'm just checking the comments real quick. I make sure I don't miss anybody on here, and I'm glad everybody is hanging out with us today.
I know.
And yes, Mike, our dogs come first. Heck yeah.
And cats,
It was so important. Yeah, let's do our word to put in the comments so we know y'all are here and you're tuning in. Let's see what our word for. Does anybody have a word or a phrase?
How about disinformation?
Oh, that's a good one. Yes.
That's good.
Because we saw plenty of that. So disinformation. I'm going to jot that down so I don't forget. So y'all put disinformation in the comment. That was kind of the theme today.
Yeah.
We saw in a lot of those news stories, and especially that one recovery podcast. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, the ER nurse told me blah, blah, blah. So they're just all kratom. People are going into comas. Oh my God. So good word.
Yeah, that's a perfect word.
That is. So y'all put disinformation in the comments so we know you're here with us. You know, you're part of the conversation. And for anybody watching the replay, if you're watching the replay, we're at 2 hours and 1 minute. Thank you for tuning in this far into.
Thank you.
I don't know if very many people watch the whole thing. Although I tell you what, for those that do watch the whole thing, whether you're live or watching the replay, you know what we stand for and what you know. So yeah, we know that you know.
If you know, you know.
Exactly. So
can I wish my son, I want to wish my son, Steven, a happy 43rd birthday today. He might be watching, but he's out with his friends. And he's been so helpful to me for, with the fire. And then he went to Jersey with Chris and I one day, and he didn't get up there and speak that day, but he went and he did the writing, to show that he was there. And I just appreciate that so much. So happy birthday, Stevie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Stevie. And happy day of Stevie's birth to you, Miss Venus.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I can't believe I have a 43-year-old son.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday to him. I love that you did that shout out. And I just love all the support you get from your family when it comes to Kratom. I know not everybody gets all the support they need. And I just love that you and your mom went to Capitol Hill a few weeks ago, or actually last week, right?
Last week, yeah.
Last Monday, a week, almost 2 weeks ago, which we did a highlight of here on the show a week ago. So if you missed last week's show, go check on YouTube after we're done here. Go watch last week's episode. Venus talked all about her and her mom going to Washington, D.C. and going to Capitol Hill and talking about Kratom, which is just amazing. I'm so glad that you were able to go.
Me too. And I can't wait for us all to be able to go together someday. I know it'll happen. Or somewhere together someday.
Yeah. Yeah, Marvel just got here. We're wrapping up, Marvel. But a quick question: is red Bali good for pain and sleep? Who would like to answer that?
I am a avid Red Valley consumer, especially nighttime and high pain days.
So what's interesting? Go ahead.
I have found that the lower MIT count tends to work better for pain.
For you, and it's so interesting because it's an individualized experience, and see low MIT, especially reds, don't do much for me. It's wild because when I started 7 years ago, everybody said, "Oh, you want the red kratom, Madeline? You say you have pain, you want the red." So I bought all this red kratom, and it's like, why? It's not doing anything. It's not making me sleepier or relax like a lot of people said reds do. It's not helping my pain like everybody says it does. I'm like, what's the deal? And luckily I tried some green and it was magic. So it's interesting how everybody's so different. Lots of people just swear by red kratom for pain and a red Bali. I've known people that swear by red Bali for to reduce cravings, so that, while they're in recovery. I've heard plenty of people, rave about red Bali. And what's interesting, I've tried like red Balis, green Balis, different Balis. I don't really know. It's just interesting how we're all different with this plant. So I always tell people, experiment and try different things and try them one at a time. Don't start with blends where it has everything. Start
And
with
journal.
a red and keep a journal so you can keep track of what's working and what's not. For sure. That helps tremendously. And some people, like Wayward says, a fan of red Bali at night or mixed with green during the day. That's awesome. So, well, thank you for joining, Marvel. We're here for you. We're here for everybody. We love having these conversations. We're wrapping up now. We've been here for 2 hours, but we do this every Saturday. It's always a fun conversation, getting all of us together and talking about our favorite plant. What's low mid? Low
MIT, I think.
Low
Yeah.
mid.
Low MIT. I think that's
MIT.
what he meant. You said he.
Low
Nikki,
mitragynine.
exactly. So I put that in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main alkaloid, mitragynine. And see, I do well with the higher MITs, which would be the green, typically the greens. Although Happy Hippo has like this really high MIT red, really high. I'm like, what? So I've been kind of trying that a little. I still can't do any kind of red on its own, but I've been kind of adding that with some green. I haven't really noticed a huge difference, but anyway, it's great to see everybody. Sherry, thank you for always popping in. It's always great seeing you here. For those that don't know, Sherry is a super kratom advocate. So many awesome people that advocate for the plant. We appreciate everybody who does. And for those that want to get more involved and educate and advocate, we're here to help anybody that needs information or getting started. Robin's organization has lots of information on their website. Here's the link, botanicalae.org. Definitely recommend their website. You want to say a little bit about that, Robin? What all y'all do? Robin? Oh, I think you're muted. Oh, we're not hearing you.
I'm sorry.
My
dog decided now was.
Oh, sorry. I see if you want to say a few words about your botanicalae.org, your organization, for anybody that wants to get involved with advocacy.
Yeah, feel free to drop us an email. My phone number is available as well. And we advocate for not just kratom, but all botanical plants. And of course, right now, kratom is in the forefront.
Yeah.
But
it's an amazing plant. I just can't get over how much better I do with kratom than I did with pharmaceuticals. So I'm glad I found it. But that's pretty much it. That's what we got for today. We watched lots. Great discussion, as always. Hopefully we'll have Amanda and Sarah back, I think, maybe next week. Everybody's busy.
Yes.
Busy time of year for a lot of people.
And Becca's being Miss Becca.
Yes, miss having Becca here. So hopefully we'll get her back soon when her schedule allows. But we appreciate everybody here hanging out with us in the chat and being
Thank
a part
you
of
all.
this.
Yep. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. I think we'll close out since we're all just fired up because of all the misinformation and disinformation. I think today we'll end with a rockin' anthem, "You Can't Ban My Roots." I think that really fits for today. So we'll see y'all next Saturday right here, and come join us over at our Kratom Real Talk community over on the school platform. I'll put the link up and I'll spit it up real quick right now. If you're not over there, you're missing out because.
Yep.
Thank you, Madeline, for putting together such a great show with you and the gals.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love doing this.
Thank you.
You know, nobody pays us
Thank
to
you.
do this. We're all just passionate Kratom consumers who love to educate and advocate for this plant. And I mean, anybody can go look at my social media and see why I do all this, because I'm just amazed a plant has given me my life back from all the pain issues I deal with. Not to say it does everything, but like it really helps way better than the pharmaceuticals ever did. So I'm just so glad I found it. I want to shout it from the rooftops. I think people need to know.
Me too.
Definitely.
I just don't understand how I could be in pain management for 9 years and never heard of Kratom. That's just wrong.
You'd think if they were truly doing pain management, they would have explored this already.
You would think. But I just never heard anybody talk about this plant. I didn't know anything about
Me
it.
neither.
I lost access to pain management, and it's like, oh, I got to talk about this. I need to make sure people know about it. People need to be aware that there's an alternative that might help them. It may not, but maybe it would.
Right. I look forward to the day, and I know it will come. I have to know it. I look forward to the day where plants are freely discussed, the knowledge is widely available, and proponents outweigh the opponents. Now, let's get back to nature's medicine.
Exactly.
Yeah. But one thing I do want to say, you know, we already know like how much is demonized on Google, Facebook, a lot of, you know, the big platforms. Yesterday and today, I've been having issues with ChatGPT with Kratom. Yes.
Wow.
I'm hoping
Oh,
it's not going to become a new trend now. But to put it in perspective real quick, and then we'll go. That video I was playing earlier with those people, the recovery podcast, talking about the Kratom deaths and the ODs and the hospitals and blah, 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 the comas. I was having ChatGPT, I was showing it, giving it the transcript of that video so I could try to find the right timestamps of stuff to show today. And at first it put it up on the screen, and all of a sudden I get this message. And it's basically telling me something. I should have taken a screenshot. It's something about the content. Like it stopped me. Everything on the screen went away, and it's just this little thing. And I'm like, whoa.
Wow.
I'm like, what's? Let me see real quick if it still says what it was, because it was a weird, like an error message. I'm like, what?
Nuts.
I'm like, no, we can't be having this. We cannot be like, here. Okay, I found it. So. You know what? I can show this real quick. I'll pull up the screen. I want y'all to see this because this just really, but it was, I didn't have enough time to look into it because it's too close to getting the show started. But it is my ChatGPT. So that video we watched, you know, it has the transcript, and so at first it was showing me stuff, and then it went away, and then it did this. This content may violate our usage policies. I'm like, what? So I said, why did it say that?
Nuts.
And it did it again. And then eventually it gave me, but see, I have a great relationship with ChatGPT. It's laughing when it's like says, I know, it does like a laughing emoji because I did a face palm right here. And so, yeah, it's like, what? Why is it saying this may violate our usage policy? Since when? And so I opened up here. I got to change screens. I'll show you the usage policy page. I'm like, So I don't know. I'm not sure yet if this is going to be a thing, because I'm always doing stuff in ChatGPT about Kratom.
Same.
So I don't know. So yeah, it took me to this page when I clicked that link, talking about just the different, I haven't had time to go look to see, but this is typical. TikTok has this. I mean, I'm always being suppressed on TikTok. I'm always getting in trouble. Actually, I haven't gotten in trouble in a while.
I'm shocked to see it on ChatGPT.
But it just had this long, because these platforms do this to protect themselves, but I've never had any issues talking about Kratom. So I guess something in here is maybe like TikTok and YouTube, where they call it regulated goods, because it's like gray area, right? So I'm thinking it must be something in there. I'll do some more research and see if I can get more info. It happened so close to me starting today's shows. I knew I wasn't going to have time to really look into it. But boy, I hope that doesn't become something that we start having issues with, because that's going to be a problem if we can't use AI to do research.
Yeah, exactly. And I have everything from the hearings, my scripts, my testimony, everything is on
Use it for
there.
a lot, yeah. So it's a bit concerning. So I'm going to keep looking into that and see if I can get more information. But we deal with these kinds of issues like on Google, Facebook, TikTok. Like, they're all so strict. It's ridiculous. All right, that's all we got for today, y'all. We'll see you next week. Always great hanging out. We'll see y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
You can't bear roots, nah, 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 nah. You can't bear my truth, nah, 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 nah. Hey, Florida, we see the game. HB 1489, not today. Natural leaf, ancient tree, now they wanna make it a felony. Nah, we ain't playing that corporate tune. Kratom's the voice of 1,000 moons. From the fields to the streets to the healing hands, you can't kill what the earth commands. They assess certification, regulation, tricks. Just another play to make the people sick. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't bend my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. Mail orders ban, remote sales cut. Who's that help? Big pharma's gut. They don't want plants, they want pills. They don't want cures, they want bills. But guess what? We ain't that dumb. We'll shout this message till the war is won. Kratom's our anthem, Kratom's our right. HB 1489, we fight tonight. They write the rules, we break the chains. Your lobby games won't own our brains. One voice, one fight, we rise tonight. You can't bend my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise. No 1489. You can't outlaw the trees. You can't outlaw the breeze. You can't outlaw the dreams. We are Kratom. We are free. You can't bend my roots. I'm a child of the storm. I was born to be free. I ain't bending no more. You can't break my truth. You can write your lies, but the people rise.